So the book I'm currently reading is called The Power by Naomi Alderman. It reads, "A fierce new power has emerged, and only women have it. In The Power, the world is a recognizable place. There's a rich Nigerian boy who lounges around the family pool, a foster kid whose religious parents hide their true nature, an ambitious American politician, a tough London girl from a tricky family. But then a vital new force takes root and flourishes, causing their lives to converge with devastating effect."
Oh, what?
Teenage girls and women now have immense physical power. With the flick of their fingers, they can cause agonizing pain and even death. And with this small twist of nature, everything changes drastically.
Hi guys, so I feel like I haven't been talking a lot to you. Finals has just been so crazy and I haven't even had the chance to read much. I haven't counted it yet from when I started at the end of last week to now how much I read, but I do know that yesterday I didn't read at all, and I think, did I read Friday? I literally can't remember. I know in editing, you guys probably know the updated page count and some version of future me. And probably a next talking clip, I will have all the numbers figured out and still tell you anyways, but yeah. So quick little pause here. This video originally was supposed to be a what I read or how many pages I can read in a week during college. Quick fact, I have already graduated. This video is months behind. We're nearing towards the end of the summer at this point when I'm speaking and doing this voiceover, and I don't remember any of the page numbers that I read day by day. Plus this video lasted over a week, so it actually overhauled what the original intent was supposed to be anyways. So with that said, let's get back into the video. And if you hear me in this video mentioned, oh, I read X amount of pages or whatever, that's why. So right now within the book itself, we're on page 26. So I don't know if I really talked about this book or Voice Over Me did. Like, the plot of this book just sounds very familiar to a show, but nowhere on this book does it say like it got adapted. And this could just be because this copy was released prior to it ever becoming a show. The back of it also got me interested because, you know, when they have some of like these quotes from like people who reviewed it, it says it's the Hunger Games crossed with the Handmaid's Tale. And the Handmaid's Tale and the Hunger Games are just like very different. And like I said, I'm only on page 26, 27, so that could end up being true, but so far it's not. And I feel like if it's leaning more towards one or the other, I could see it being the Handmaid's Tale, but the Hunger Games part I don't get. But maybe it will pop up and I will understand that part. And then the other part that like got me hooked was a thriller that terrifies and leaves behind a lingering tingle. That's part discomfort and part exhilaration. Easy to read, hard to put down, difficult to forget. And so far the book is interesting, but we're still at the beginning parts in terms of just getting like introduced to everything. So the first two chapters, or I guess each chapter is like a character's name. So the first two characters that we meet, either they themselves go through some sort of transformation or they experience it because of somebody else. Like the second chapter was from a boy's perspective, so he's experiencing kind of like power awakening in this girl that he liked. And then the first chapter, pretty sad. The girl and her mother, like people like break into their home and tragic stuff happen, and that's how her powers arisen. So, and then the third one is from the perspective of this lady named Margaret, and her daughter is someone who has unlocked powers as well. And I guess they all seem to be electricity based. I think that's what everyone's power is. I think I came in assuming that everyone would get different powers, but nope, not the case. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna continue this. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. I just woke up quite late, 10:40 something. Now it's like way past 10:40 something. It's like 11. But I'm gonna go eat some breakfast, and I think I'm gonna continue this book. I want to make a bigger of a dent because one, I'm very interested in this book, so I just wanted to read more. But two, I think I had expectations coming in, and I like that like I was wrong for certain things of like how they'll go. But I think because this is my first book I'm reading since February properly, I'm just thinking about so many other books that were on my TBR that I was meant to read because I just got this like a week ago. So I'm like, ugh. And now I'm gonna continue reading this, but those books are in the back of my head, so we might switch. But I feel like now they say that I'm gonna just think about switching books. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Okay, but I think we're just gonna continue reading. We're gonna go eat some breakfast as well. Probably put on something on TV for the background, and I think we're gonna read. So let me shut up and let's continue the book. Literally peak reading moment right now. Peak reading environment. Not peak reading mood and atmosphere, but it's doable. I have my tea. I have my breakfast. I have my fucking book. I want to read. Yeah, I opened up the book, barely read. I barely finished the page. I think I jinxed myself. And I still am. Let me choose first. Sorry. Give me a second. I think it's because I have my period. I started it late Saturday night, and I went into Saturday. I read in the morning, wanting to read, specifically wanting to continue the book. And then Sunday, yesterday, I went in wanting to read, wanting to continue this book, but not being able to because I was on bed rest the whole day, or for majority of the day because of my condition. I did my chores. I did laundry, did my chores, was on bed rest because of all that movement. And then I tweaked and submitted my like 2 finals that night. And then my sister and I watched the first 2 Final Destination movies in preparation for the new one that's coming out, or it probably already came out. I don't know. I don't care. I don't fucking know. Sorry, excuse me. I do care. Anyways, but I didn't read yesterday. And then so I woke up today feeling a little, but still wanting to read. But I don't know. I'm just, it's not even like a softie enough or anything. I think it's just purely like I'm still thinking about this book. But I think my mood has just shifted. And I'm very much a mood reader. So I think I want to capitalize on the fact that I still want to read. I just don't want to read this right now. So I don't put myself back into a slump, because I was in a slump for like 3-4 months since February. So I think we're just gonna finish our breakfast, and I think that we're gonna get the ladder, go up on top of the armoire, and then find a different book. Let me fucking shut up so we can actually pick a book and we actually can get on with our lives. Okay, so let's talk about the book. And it looks like the book is like counting down. So all in the beginning of the book, it starts off with the parts. It was like 10 years later, and now we're not 10 years later, 10 years ago, and now we're up to 9 years ago. So I think we're like counting from like the past to the present. Yeah, I stopped in the middle of a chapter right now, and this is the new part 9 years ago. And so the last part and then the beginning of this new part ends and starts off with the same character. Her name is Allie. Very tragic. I think the first character that we meet in this book, I don't remember the name, Roxy, and then the Allie had some tragic, we seen like a tragic snippet into their life. So yeah, this book is intriguing me because these girls are like getting these abilities, still very much unknown to themselves and to the world as a whole. But Allie's a little bit different in terms of, she has like this voice in her head. I don't know if it's like she literally has a voice in her head or something is just going on and like her mental state is like collapsing. So, then she just has this voice in her head. So I don't know whether it's like real or not, but she has this voice in her head. The voice talks to her. She calls the voice mom. Very comforting in regards, very comforting to her. So far we haven't met any other character who has like a voice in their head. So far, Allie does something permanent, I should say, that none of the other girls that we've met so far has done. I mean, their situation in terms of how their power arises is horrible. It's not like light or pleasant to read, but in terms of like their abilities themselves, they haven't done anything very drastic and unreversible, if that makes any sense. It's to like a very horrible state, but not with Allie. She's very sure of herself and her abilities, and I think it's because of this mysterious voice in her head. So that's what's making this interesting. I think I'm actually going to stick with this book because I'm intrigued. Allie is intriguing me. So I think we might actually stick with the book, but we also might later on, because I'm taking a pause from reading right now, we also might later on maybe still find something else. We'll see what my vibe is like in like an hour or two when I pick back up with the reading again. But I still have some finals to work on, so that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna wash my dishes. I think I'm gonna either turn the TV off and just work in silence, or put some sort of like rain sound, ambiance, Animal Crossing, whatever the case is, sim build, something calm, work on my finals, and then like I said, we'll pick up reading again. But so y'all get it. Let me shut up and let me go wash my dishes. Hello, book lovers. It has been 2 days since I last read Power, or The Power. Y'all, I am on page 46, 47. I can't remember which side I left off on. Last time we talked, I think I was on page 20 something. And then I said like I was capping it for the day, but I might pick it up later. Literally not even 2 minutes after I filmed that, I kept reading more, so I got to page 40 something, which was great. And then yesterday I did like the doctors, and I was working on my final and stuff like that, so I didn't have time to read. And I want to read today because I'm in the mood to read, but I have one last final, like paper final, to submit in like 3 hours. So I'm just gonna like glance over that, do quick edits if anything, double check for like guidelines and rubrics and things like that. And while I do that, I'm gonna watch some TV, and then I'll put a pause on the show that I'm watching, True Detectives, season 4, Night Country, and then we're gonna go ahead and read this book. Or depending, because it's like raining, it's in and out, but it's like raining, it's pretty gloomy, so I think this book is actually pretty fitting for the mood. But we also might see about picking up a different book. But I do want to read this book, and I want to capitalize on the fact that I want to read this book, and I just want to read in general, so I can slowly get out of my reading slump that we're in, or have been for like past 4 freaking months. But yeah, I don't know, after I finish my paper final today, my 2 final exams tomorrow, which also tomorrow caps the end of this video, unless I decide that I wanted to extend it. But it was originally supposed to be like how much I can realistically read video, and I mean this is realistic, but also I have multiple days, you know, where I'm not reading, and then when I do read, it's not like a huge amount. But also I gotta keep in mind that, what was I trying to say? Where am I? What am I doing? I'm in the living room touching this book. Realistic. And then also I have to keep in mind that I'm doing this video my first week back into reading again after not reading for like 4 months. So yeah, in the past I've done this video style before in the share channel that my twin sister had when I used to make book content over there. I've done this type of video before, and you know, I do manage to read like 30 pages a day, 20, 40, whatever the case is. So by the end of it, it's like a good amount. But like I said, this is realistic. This is what ends up happening this week. And also this is my first week back at reading. So I think, given, like I said, that I haven't read in 4 months, it's pretty good that I'm reading at all. So if in a week I get to 40 something pages, 50 something pages, it's not horrible. So I'm gonna shut up now. We're gonna unpack, relax, and then pick up reading in about an hour after I do last edits and stuff for the final. Let's continue the vlog. I don't know, do I want to do one that is, I assume, is gonna be fun to read, given that I watch the movies and TV shows? Also, what are like these? This font is huge. I love. So, okay, so far I'm so far, I mean, I went in knowing that I might wanted to read fantasy, but so far that's all I'm picking. So, I think finally I'm gonna read. My sister made me some coffee. It was so good. We're gonna get comfortable. And I think what I'm gonna do, just because I can't really figure out what I want to read, first page of each book. What? I'm reading more than just the first page because it didn't really grip me. So I was like, let me just read on. But the second page, it looks interesting. Okay, that was good. That was good. So I'm gonna read, let's do Legacy and the Queen. I'm thinking this is like middle grade or something, right? Just based on the vibes. Bro, I love like even the like that is like one day in the future, like I would love to write a book. I'm mainly trying to focus in the future because I do art to create like a comic, graphic novel, things like that. I have done a children's picture book. It was for a class, but I've done that, and that could be great in terms of like in the future building a portfolio if I ever want to like actually actively pursue it professionally or like, you know, independently or whatever the case is. But if I ever do like a book, either adult, YA, children's book, whatever, like I want this, like these, like I would love. Anyways, let me read the first page of this. Okay, I read the first 2 pages of Legacy and the Queen. It didn't grip me instantly, so oh, that's cool. The page, the way that. Anyways, okay, we're gonna move on to Sky Hunter. Okay, the interior end pages, like here, it's like glossy paper, which is interesting. Ooh, I love books with maps. Love. Especially fantasy books, y'all. When I did my birthday book shopping, I remember looking up this book on Goodreads because I never heard of the author before nor the name. And I remember at the time, this was like back in January, this had over 4-point star rating on Goodreads. Now you'll see them hunting in the forest at the foothills of the mountain in groups of 6 or more, a grotesque contrast to the serene snow dust landscape. Why am I over here struggling like I didn't? I grabbed my glasses and then I went to go talk to my twin sister and then I left them in her room. Let me go. Oh, guys, I can't speak and I can't fucking see. So close. Where for the book? Okay. Anyways, let me continue though. Okay, so this hooked me so fucking good, but the second page of this also got me, and I think I'm gonna go with this one just because this is like I said, I think 203 pages long, so it's a quick read. I still have my final exam to do, but so I don't think I'm gonna be able to like sit in one sitting and read everything. Plus I have some other things I need to do in preparation for like graduation, resetting, things like that. So just in general, I won't finish this book in one sitting. It would be nice if I could, but I can see myself getting through a good amount of this book in one sitting. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just read until I get hungry, and that's probably gonna be like an hour and a half, and we'll just kind of see how much I get through. But yeah, there's 2 pros to this. It hooked me, and it's also short. So this is the book we're gonna be reading, Where the Children by Mary Higgin Clark. I'm looking a bit rough. I literally have a final due tonight, a final exam for one of my psychology classes, and it is 6:20. It's due in like, what, less than 6 hours now? I'm currently reading right now. This is what I'm reading, watching videos, and in like probably 10 minutes I'm gonna knock because I'm so fucking tired. I want to take a nap. I think the best course for me is for me right now is to finish this chapter. I have like 2 pages left. I am gonna take a nap because I'm not gonna do my exam tired and then possibly fail because I'm not like properly locked in. I'm gonna finish the chapter in like what, 5 minutes, and I'm gonna nap for like 30 an hour maybe, right? And to have time to take my final exam. Okay, but that's the plan.
The next book in this video that I'm going to try and read is called Where Are the Children by Mary Higgin Clark. The synopsis reads, Nancy Harmon long ago fled the heartbreak of her first marriage, the macabre death of her 2 little children, and the shocking charges against her. In pursuit of a fresh start, she changed her name, dyed her hair, and left California for the wind-swept peace of Cape Cod. 7 years later, Nancy is remarried with 2 5-year-olds, Michael and 3-year-old Missy. She has finally regained the confidence to reclaim what she's lost, and so the morning she looks across the backyard to find only one red mitten where her children should be, and realizes that the nightmare has begun again. This book is a little bit up and down. I was very excited to read it early on, and I think, well, first of all, it's been 2 months, over 2 months since 3 months, June, July, August. It has been 3 months since I last filmed for this video. I have a backlog of so much videos that I've been editing recently, and I realized I never finished this video. I never properly capped it for the fact that I was reading and then I stopped. So it's been 3 months. I am still very much in a reading slump. I'm still very much trying to get back into reading. I haven't read in 3 months since that video, and I haven't finished a completed book since January, making this the end of August and over an 8-month, in about an 8-month reading slump. So that's where we are right now. I never finished this video, and I didn't want to just through text be like,
I stopped reading and it ended. I actually wanted to have a conclusion, and I wanted to actually read, and this is a fairly short book. And at the end of what we had before, I switched out from reading The Power and I picked up this book instead. And since I already started trying to get back into reading and started reading this yesterday, I was like, let me continue it for this video. I had to reread what I already read yesterday, and now I'm kind of like getting into the flow of things. I'm gonna continue, but if I'm really being honest here, it's not really the book. I think it's, I don't know what it is. It's probably because I'm in a slump or something. I'm just not feeling it. But I think that when you're in a slump, I really think at this point I might need to push and force myself a little bit here, because if I keep babying myself with not feeling a book and then being like, okay, well, let's pick up a different book because maybe then you'll like XYZ, even though the books that I'm putting down are actually good books. I know that if I was not in this reading slump, I would actually be finishing it. I can't baby myself anymore. I have to push through. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna start chapter 4 here. It's getting quite good, I would say, because it's about a girl who had her children went missing, or no, her children didn't go missing, they died, right? Yeah, her 2 children were murdered, and then now several years later she has a new family, has new children, and her new children go missing, right? So the end of chapter 3, there's somebody who's like heavily against Nancy, the main character, this mother. So her husband is at work and his secretary or assistant or whatever drops the newspaper in front of him, and the end of chapter 3 reads, the first line of the story read, somewhere today Nancy Harmon is celebrating her 32nd birthday and the 7th anniversary of the death of the children she was found guilty of murdering. Even though I think she was like set free or something like that. Girl, like when I first read it, I was like and then like 2 seconds later I was like, I think I'm gonna put this book down. But like I gotta like push through. So I don't know if I'm gonna record anymore, but just know that I'm gonna continue reading this book. But I will say that this is realistic. I've been on a reading slump before, a really long one. My last one was like nearly 2 years long. It was over a year. I think when it hit actually January of 2022, I got into a reading slump. Didn't get out of it until the end of 2023, something like that. I can't exactly remember. So I've been in a really long reading slump before. I absolutely hate it. I'm really trying my best to ensure that this one isn't going longer than 7-8 months. But it's realistic, it's life. I just gotta try my best to get out of it, I guess. All right, I'm gonna spend a little more time reading and we shall see. I'll give you an update in a different video, but thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot that you stuck around so far. And I'll see you later, book lovers.